All right, what's up, my brothers from another mother? We got a sponsored request here today from a gentleman in Australia. Before we hop into it, I'm going to mention the channel sponsor, the Tactical Soap Company, pinned in the description below. A 10% off coupon code if you use Cooper at checkout. You're showering anyways, might as well support the creation of the content on this channel. It's awesome stuff and infused with pheromones. High quality soap right there, folks. Let's hop straight into it. So this guy is an Australian that's struggling on the sexual marketplace. And his subject says, how not to attract women who are complete losers. We've dealt with a version of this in the past. I think we've also had conversations on the Redman group about this. But this specific request, I'll just read through. We'll get right into it. Nick's 27 years old, lives in Melbourne. He's appreciates, I'm not sure what you're referencing with the Red Pill book. It doesn't exist. But it's probably The Rational Male. I know I should mention Sean's book, The Tactical Guide to Women, which I've recommended. Check those out if you haven't already seen them. They're pinned in the description towards the bottom of recommended reading books for men. Anyway, so this guy went to university. He ended up with no job tied into what he was doing in university and $30,000 in Australian debt. Companies were hiring the majority of female graduates just to fill some quotas. So I'm not sure what you're doing right now, but it sounds like you've got a job. But at this point, you've accepted you won't be settling down with women. I enjoy being single and freedom. I'm confused because you're saying that you enjoy being single and the freedom that you have, but your main question is how to not attract women who are complete losers. Those two things conflict. I wonder where your beliefs truly lie. Anyway, so you're saying that you're happy being single and freedom. I still want to have children, but it has to be with the right person because I think it's totally unfair to the kids when the parents are just abusive and never right for each other. I totally agree. Fit definitely matters. My own dad has done a number of family law cases over the years. I'm guessing your dad's a lawyer in a family court of Australia as well-known snake pit that has led many men to commit suicide as a result of family court issues. So if you're unfamiliar, men commit suicide at rates, I believe it's 5 times higher than women post-divorce. That's what he's referencing there. It's just the course of order that men go through when it comes to going through the divorce machine. It's very difficult and not completely a fair process is what we'll call it, to put it lightly. But you guys get the idea. I think getting into a marriage would be the equivalent of me signing my own death warrant. Some might see this as an extreme. It definitely should not be a death warrant. And again, you don't need to get married to have kids. That's not what this video is about, but let's continue on forward. There's just too much for a bloke like me to lose, as I've accumulated some savings, traveled the world, owned a car for the last 7 years, and now hopefully establishing my career in the transport industry. When I thought it was finished, I just got fired early this year. To satisfy sexual needs, I just go and pay for it. Little BS, no strings attached. I don't know how incels actually exist. Okay. I will admit in the past that I made some terrible mistakes and I learned some very harsh lessons from. This was before I came across my channel and Red Pill books. I feel like mistakes I've made. I've been thinking, being the white knight. Yeah, okay. Buying gifts, being too nice was the mistakes I made when I was younger, my teens and early 20s. It got me nowhere and exposed my insecurities at that point in time. I also had deluded belief that females could be your friends. I haven't had any female friends since 2015, only acquaintances as I refer them to. My only real girlfriend I had was from Malta, and I had an amazing time with her and a good sense of humor. It sounds like that was a long-distance relationships, and those are not relationships. I've talked about that on my channel. Browse the prior videos from the last month or so. You'll see some content in there. That was back in 2012. I struggled for a number of years with one-itis, but deep down I acknowledged it's since long gone. Given that she was the first real girlfriend I had and still... Yeah, okay. And you've been very single. Only one woman was semi-serious. I tried pursuing other women. Okay, but it went nowhere. Got it. One experience I had that left you quite traumatized. He says, I had been pursuing an older woman when I was 20. She had promised me a job in Melbourne light rail system. We swapped details, and after she told me her real age, 36, I don't know what you'd be doing with some woman that's 16 years older than you. But I made the mistake of showing up at her work, and she accused me of stalking her right in front of people. Yeah, well, that's bound to happen if you show up at a woman's work and she's 16 years older than you and you look like you're 16 years younger than her. That is to be expected, to be honest with you. This is the most humiliating moment of my entire life, and my confidence was shattered as a result of what it felt like being crucified. I thought women were evil for a very long time afterwards, and being around them physically. Yeah, well, she had to respond that way, dude, simply because of your 16-year junior appearance at her workplace. She's not going to say that she had any sexual interest or romantic interest in you in front of her peers. That's why she threw you under the bus. Men are disposable. You just have to get used to the fact that men are the disposable sex and women are the protected sex, and that's how it is. You can dive into Dr. Warren Farrell's books. He's got a book called The Myth of Male Power. I don't have a copy to show you, but you can look it up. It's pinned in my description as recommended reading books for men, so you can check that out. All right, so a switch flicked inside and was extremely damaging to his psychology. Get over it, brother. That is a red pill truth. It's one of the many types of trauma that lead men to the red pill. You just have to accept it. Anyway, we're almost done. We're kind of halfway through. I believe my road to Damascus moment happened to me in August 2015 when I decided to walk away from a former university friend who I'd been dating and sleeping with. So we've got kind of a friends with benefits scenario. Known her for 5 years. She had totally changed from a Greek girl to a third wave feminist. She was trying to change into something I was not, and I'm not the type of person who likes being told what to do. Okay, anyway, so he's dating friends with benefits feminist, which is a university friend. The main point of my letter is that on a lengthy vacation in 2017, had another road to Damascus moment, and that I was glad that I didn't have an LTR girlfriend through my 20s. I believe many females are out there to undermine you greatly. They're not, man. They're really not. Women are just women. You have to accept them for what they are. And I was on the receiving end of this on a number of occasions. I found many women to be quite jealous of me and wanted to make me into something I was completely not. So do not yield. A woman is to be a complement to your life, not the focus. You do not yield to women try to turn you from pet to plow horse. That's good. I mean, fine. Make sure that you stand firm and you don't let that happen. So it's bound to happen. You know, women will try that. Just don't let it happen. That's cool, right? I'm the type of person, yeah, we know you don't like to be told what to do. Got it. I could not have any meaningful or intellectual conversation with women, but whenever I travel abroad or meet foreign women, I have intelligent conversations and get along with them very well. Well, you've got relationship, travel kind of love there. That's what that is versus your domestic love. Something's not adding up or making sense. Yes. When you travel, you'll get their absolute best. When you're dealing domestically, you're not going to get best behavior. Also, you're probably finding if you're traveling to countries that are not first world like Australia, they're probably seeking some sort of opportunity or potential future arrangement to migrate or to move with you to Australia. So they're always going to be on better behavior. Australian women, they're already there. They don't care. Something is just not adding up. Anyway, he says, whenever I travel, I attract high-quality women in beauty and intelligence, but when I'm home, I attract women that are just real losers and complete F-wits. It is not like I intentionally seek that, but I always seem to encounter loser women. What do I mean by this? I mean women who can't hold a job for long or never had one, left high school early, lost most of their friends, already a young single mother, stuck up, materialistic, issues that are complete denial about, very immature, little idea of what is really going on in the world, having hissy fits when you disagree with them, or having a conversation with them is like talking to the wall. I'm just not interested in the material world makeup and what Kim Kardashian is doing. Well, newsflash, that is the bulk of, I suppose, the dating pool in your early 20s. That's what you're going to be dealing with, my friend. And if it's not one thing, it's going to be another. I would not be surprised if any of these foreign women, let me just kind of go up here, this entire highlighted area, okay? I would not be surprised if many of these foreign women that you're meeting would also tick off many of these complaints. Should they move to Australia, or should you maybe move to their country and dive deep into what their life truly is and what they're doing? You're going to have different interests and passions and desires from what women are going to have. It's just men and women are different, man. Never mind all this crap that they're trying to beat into people's heads that men and women are the same. Men and women are different. We have different interests and desires. Women like talking about people and conversations and gossip. Men are more interested in things. We like motorbikes and boats and planes and cars and motorcycles and all kinds of stuff like that. We like picking up heavy shit and putting it down and molding our bodies. You go to a gym, for every woman that's in there, there's 20 guys doing the same thing. We're just different, man. You have to understand that men and women are not the same, and you can't expect them, to want to, do the exact things or be the exact same things that you are. You also got to remember, you have to repel women that don't fit your ideal mold. You have to vet them correctly. If you've read The Tactical Guide to Women by Sean Smith, which you mentioned earlier, it's probably worthwhile reading it again and again, so you can go through the vetting process. So when you see that they have, for example, issues that they're in complete denial about, you veto them. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia, as they would say, and you move on. Next, as you will. If you were out there on the dating market, spinning plates, spoiled for choice, you had multiple options, the cream will rise to the top, the crap will fall off and smash into the ground. The plate will just fall off. And that's how it should work for you. I'm not sure what you're doing right now on the dating scope of things, but if you're finding that you're getting a lot of this crap, then you need to next them a lot quicker. Don't let them waste your time. When you see these signals and signs, immediately they're stuck up or they're materialistic on the first date. Get rid of them. You can vet them by asking them questions like, what was the last book that you read? And if they say, well, I like to read Cosmo, then you can get rid of them on the first date if it's important to you that they're not brain dead or can engage in a more deep conversation. That's on you, man. Like, you've got to vet them properly and just get rid of them. But yeah, you're gonna dig through a lot of dirt before you find that gold nugget. It's just a reality of it. I'm not saying it's ever gonna come along or that it will or it won't, but you're gonna have to do some work, man. Anyway, you're saying, I've now realized my past mistakes, but I have trust issues with women. I also feel that I won't want to be with women in my home city in Melbourne. I'm sure you've read plenty of similar stories, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on going forward from here. I tend to like women. All right, here we go. Fuck. Another guy that thinks that foreign women are better. Latina, Czech, Lebanese, Syrian, Maltese, as I've had good experiences with them. You're traveling. You're on the honeymoon phase when you meet these women, and they're always going to be on their best behavior. And women of these cultures and these countries are not first world. They're going to behave better because they want to come to your country. I'll put a card up on the top right of women in foreign countries. You should watch these videos. I think there's at least one or two there. You can browse that playlist and see what you can find. But you're not going, like, women are just women. They are the same anywhere around the world, and they will fundamentally behave nearly the same if you introduce a Czech, Lebanese, Syrian, or Maltese woman from their country to your country or bring them back. It is always a bad move, in my opinion anyway, but you can give it a try. The only benefit that you're going to find, I haven't been to Australia, but I've heard a lot of guys complain that women aren't very feminine. They're somewhat masculine. They're indoctrinated by feminism. They're overweight, for example. You'll probably find that these women tick off the looks box, but as soon as you bring them there, they're going to behave in a very predictable fashion, in my opinion. Anyway, but given your previous bad experiences I've just mentioned, I feel incapable at times to actually love and trust someone again. Some people have told me that my standards are too high. Yeah, there's some people that say that you can love women or you can understand women, but you can't do both. And that's part of the bitter taste of the red pill. You have to figure out how to balance those things. It takes some guys a while to figure that out. Some people never get to it. They just, kind of hover in the MGTOW area for a very long time. I've said this before. My friend George Bruno says this too. It's a nice place to visit, but not a place that you'd want to stay for a long time, in my opinion, too. Some people have told me that my standards are too high. If people are telling you that your standards are too high, and I need to make compromises and lower them, why would you? Fuck what people think. That's what I say. Fuck what other people think. They're not in your shoes. They're not living your life. They're not going to deal with the consequences if you wife up the wrong woman. They can destroy your life, man. So I stand firm with you, man. I'm with you, Nick. Some people have told you your standards are too high and you need to make compromises. Now, the other thing, too, is if you're expecting a top shelf woman to come along, you need to be a top shelf man yourself. And the other thing that you got to understand is because of hypergamy, women don't seek their own level. They always seek higher. So a woman that's a 7 out of 10 on the hot babe scale, let's say, she's not going to go for a 7 out of 10 dude. She wants to be with a, 8 out of 10 or higher, or bare minimum 7, but she's not going to go with a 6. I mean, generally speaking, they want an 8 out of 10 or higher, which means you're going to be pretty much always dealing with women that aren't at your level. Hypergamy dictates a woman seeks, and the only way that they'll truly be happy is if they seek and lock down a guy that's of higher value than them, same level or higher, generally speaking, higher. So, yeah, you are going to find yourself frustrated. Understand that fact. Understand that one fact from this entire video. Okay, that is something I cannot bring myself to do, as my own health and happiness in life is paramount. Very good. You're making yourself your own mental point of origin. I like that. Keep doing that. Not acting for the charade of companionship or relationship, but that is totally unequal. I feel that now you're talking about egalitarian equalism, which is a different sort of thing. You can Google that. I feel like you say that women should complement your life. However, in reality, many are a burden and a liability. Yeah, well, that's the nature of the world that we live in today, my friend. There are not a lot of, if you're a top shelf, great man that is competent, resourceful, has done great things in his life, is strong, masculine, tall, you got good gene stock, you're going to be in high demand, and you're going to find that there aren't the greatest pool of women for you to dive into and select from. Another thing that you might want to consider is moving. I mean, if you find that that potential wife stock, because it sounds like you're looking to have kids at some point in the future, if you find that the potential dating pool or wife stock that you have where you live is awful, you can move. There are different places in the world that you can live. I mean, one of the things that we talk about in the manosphere a lot is two of the things that, one of the main things that you should value when you're signal is you have the ability to maneuver. You have the ability to live and go wherever it is that you please. You don't have to stay in a shithole if you find it is a shithole. It's okay to pick up and move and find somewhere new to be and go and live. And, one of the excuses a lot of guys like to make is, well, how do I make money? Or what do I do about this problem? Well, you'll figure it out, my friend. If you're a high value guy that's resourceful and competent, you'll figure out a way to solve those problems. It'll make you a better man for it. I'll tell you that. All right, I'm going to wrap up this request on that note. I want to thank you for your question. Real quick, if you want to do the same and sponsor a video, you can do it on entrepreneursandcars.com/request. I'll put a card up on the top right of the screen. The cost currently is $100. You're going to fill out your name, your email, and then it'll take you to another page, which will let you fill out the request. You can also book a call with me on Clarity. There's a link over here. And that's done over the phone. This is better dialogue for back and forth stuff. So if you have some serious stuff that you're stuck on, rather than getting a generic reply to a screen that I'm reading off on, it's easier for us to go back and forth and discuss sticking points to help you get unstuck. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching today's video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.